everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to another Cocoa Vanilla Studio design team project. I am continuing with my holiday album using the amazing Sun-Kissed collection, and I have some photos here that I have photoshopped with a very faint white circle, as you can see in the close-up there. So each of the photos I have gone in my photo editing software and drawn that really quite subtle circle around each of them. And the reason for that is on the blog this week, a few of us are playing along with a theme, and that theme is circles or squares. And I decided to go with a circle theme. So I also thought I would have a play with some paper rolling. So I've noticed this has become a trend again recently. It used to be big quite a while ago, and it has just made a resurgence. And I don't think I've made a scrapbooking layout with it ever. So I really wanted to have a go at experimenting with some of this. So you can see I have a bunch of paper squares cut out there. These are from various 12 by 12 pattern papers and from some of the A5 paper stack papers as well. And I just tried to get a good mix of colors, and my plan is to make some rainbow circles. So I've just gone in there, I've curled my paper with a paintbrush, and then I've laid down a strip of double-sided adhesive tape, and then I've gone in with a metal skewer and rolled it up a bit more tightly onto the tape. And then I'm also going in with my tacky glue just for an extra layer of insurance. I really don't trust tape to hold these paper rolls tightly over any length of time. I just find that tape, yeah, you guys know I'm a big fan of my liquid adhesives for extra insurance. So that is what I've done for each of those paper rolls, and I definitely have found that it is a lot easier to roll the paper if you start from a corner rather than starting from a wide edge. You just get a tighter roll, and yeah, it's just a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and do a bunch of these. I did way more than I needed, which is fine because I can use them more on another layout. And actually another design team member gave me a really cool idea for another project using these, so I'm totally going to steal that and go ahead and do this again in the future. So I'm just going to speed through that. There you go, and that is my little collection of rolled paper rolls, I suppose. So now that I've done that, I'm going to trim all those photos down. I'm just very carefully following along with that white line that I have shopped onto there. Now you can use a die cut if you have it. I don't have any die cuts, circular die cuts large enough to do these photos. You could also use your electronic die cutting machine if you have a PicScan mat. I believe there are similar products for each of the cutting machines. I'm not totally sure, I'm sorry, but I thought this was the easiest way to do it for me. I'm just being really careful to be neat, and I think they ended up really great. So I've just done a little shot here of my Silhouette Studio editing software so you can see what I did to design my page. I've laid out all those circles, and those filled circles are the ones that are going to be my photos. So I just deleted the cut lines on those ones and just cut out all the other circles. So I've gone through with the Feelin' Fine 12 by 12 pattern paper and cut all those out. And so I actually have not mentioned that I'm doing a double page spread. So one of the pages will have that cut out circles paper, that one, as a background. And the other page I will use those cut out circles. So I am not throwing anything away at all. It's really handy. So I am also going to cut down I think this is Fun in the Sun 12 by 12 pattern paper. If you want a comprehensive list of all the products I'm using, just check the description box for the link to the blog post where everything is listed. So I'm just going to mat that on some white cardstock, or border some white cardstock with it, rather. And I did gut the paper because, of course, I don't want to waste any of that beautiful paper. So I'm just going to trim that one down as well. Working on two A4 size layouts, which again I forgot to mention. So it is an A4 double page spread. And this one I'm just going to back this with some white cardstock again. So I'm kind of doing the reverse on this one. So white circles and a pattern paper background, and then on the other side I'll have the white background with the pattern paper circles. So there we go. And flip it over, there we go. And now I'm bringing my photos in to see where I would like to position them. I've already designed that out pretty much. And on the other page, I'm just going to, I think, pretty much just flip it vertically. So the large photos at the top. just like that, and lay out all the circles very similarly to how they are laid out on the other side. So I'll just speed this up in a minute because it did take me quite a while to figure out exactly where all those circles needed to go, but I did get there in the end. So I really like how both these pages look, and I love how they complement each other. So now that I have those how I want them, I've decided that I'm only going to do 3 of these circles as rolled paper, just because I don't want it to be too overwhelming, and I also didn't want to make life too difficult for myself if this didn't work. It ended up working really well. I was really pleased with it. So I'm just going to go through with all my paper rolls and glue them down to the circles using tacky glue. So I'm just using those cutout circles as a perfect circle template. Definitely the easiest way to get a nice perfect circle if you plan to do this yourself. It was not particularly easy to cut through the paper rolls to trim them down to size, so having that shape on the back to guide me was really, really helpful. So just going through, laying down a nice healthy amount of tacky glue and sticking my paper roll down. So I'm going to do 3 of those circles in varying sizes, trying to make them so that I space them out across the layout nicely. So just super speedy here. And I'm not trimming them down yet. I'm making sure to let the glue dry completely before I go through and try to trim those circles down. So I've just put that to the side while I give it a healthy amount of drying time. And then over the side, I just felt like those circles were looking a little bit not standing out enough compared to those rolled paper flowers circles. So I've come in with my Pigma Micron pen and I'm just doing a sketchy border on the inside of those circles. All the way around, I'm just doing a double line, really sketchy, messy border, just to help them stand out. And then I'll go all the way over the background with some white acrylic ink splatters because I can't help myself. I have to do splatters. And I think the white just looks really nice on this background with those white circles. So a good healthy dose of those, and then I'll move that other way, and I of course have to do splatters on my white background now. And I'll do even more over the side because I struggle with plain white. So I'm using gold here, and then I will come in with a nice bright yellow Distress Oxide, I think it's mustard seed, and then a nice pale pink, which I think is spun sugar. So no rhyme or reason to this, just all over the place. Okay, now my rolled paper circles have dried. I am going to come in with a combination of my craft knife here and my scissors. So what I found easiest in the end was to trim it roughly with my scissors and then use my craft knife to tidy up. So I did roll these very tightly as well, which did make them quite sturdy and difficult to trim through. So if you roll them more loosely and kind of like with a larger diameter, this step would be a lot easier. So these are glued down really well. I didn't dislodge any of them while I was trimming them. So just using my big scissors to trim it roughly and then going through with my craft knife to tidy up the edge definitely gave me the cleanest result and was the easiest to do. So going out of frame a little bit there, but you get the idea. So you just have to make sure not to trim through the very top or bottom roll paper straws because then the whole thing would come unraveled. So I'm just making sure to keep that top and bottom edge intact. So there we go, that is my tiny little one, and then we will skip 2 because you don't want to watch the whole process. It is rather time consuming. So then I decided to cut out some foam circles. So this is just single-sided adhesive foam. I want to put my photos up on the page without the rolled circles just to help them stand out a little bit. And I'll also need to pop up the photo that is overlapping the largest rolled circle on the other page. So I'm just making sure to trim those out to the right size using some of the paper circles I have as a guide. And then I'm going to pop foam on the back of these photos. So this is just single-sided craft foam that I get from Spotlight. It's really inexpensive. And actually I bought one pack a long time ago, ages ago, and I'm still working through it, so it's definitely economical. Now this one needed a couple of layers of foam just to make it the right height. Those rolled paper circles are quite thick. And now I'm ready to start positioning all my main elements, so just putting those back where they belong, and then I will go ahead with a healthy dose of tacky glue and make sure those are stuck down. So I really wanted to make sure that those rolled paper circles did not move. They are substantially heavier than a normal paper circle. So there we go, that is all done, and now I'm going to add my journaling down in this little circle. So I'm just drawing some lines, and then I'll just write out a few lines in my grey fine liner pen. And then my title, so I'm just going to title this page Cheers, mainly because I have that photo of my my margarita there, and I don't know when else I'll use this title, so I'm going to go ahead and use it, and it fits nicely in the space. So I've just lined it up on the edge of some packaging there, and I'm just going to stick that right there. Nice and sticky, these alphas. So I did just have to fix up the S. So there we go. And then I'm also going to add some of the hearts that we get on the foam titles, because I wanted to bring some of the gold sparkle over to the right hand side as well. Also going to pop down a couple of the wood buttons. I did end up moving that one. It tore the paper a little bit. It's really a good adhesive foam on the back of those buttons, but I managed to lay it down enough that you can't really tell. And then I'm going to use up some of my clear stickers as well, because I realized I'm using a white background, which I don't do very often, and the clear stickers really do look incredible on white. So I'm just going to tuck some of these ones that I have left around the place on this side of the page. Love that rainbow, so pretty. And then I went through the die cut ephemera off camera, and I found these two little drink die cuts, and again, I don't know when else I'm going to be able to use them, so I'm going to get them onto this page. And I'm just going to tuck them around the photo of my cocktail there. There we go, very cute. And popping in a little banner sticker. And then I also noticed there are two circular stickers on the accessory sticker sheet, so I'm going to add those, one to each page, and I'm just overlapping them or tucking them under the circles that I have there already. I'm also adding these two little flags below my photo. I'm not sure why I decided to do that. I think I just saw them and thought I may as well get them used up. They're cute. And then there goes my other circle sticker right there. And back through the die cuts, I found a couple of nice banner phrases. I thought this page was looking a little bit blank compared to the other side. There's a lot going on. So just a bit of foam behind him to bring him up to the same height as my photo, so I can overlap it a little bit. Very cute. And then some florals. So I'm just going to use some of the florals I have left from this floral ephemera pack. It's almost all used up, but I do have a backup, don't worry. So I'm just cutting some of these florals in half so that I can tuck them around underneath the edges of these circular photos. And just adding a bit of tacky glue to the base and tucking them underneath. So I'll build a little floral cluster to the left of this photo, and then I think I just tucked that little blue one down below my photo there, and then another cluster up here just at the top left of this photo. And the last thing I'm going to do is bring in one of the leaf die cuts, and I'm just going to trim him up a bunch so I can use all the little individual leaves tucked around in different places among my floral clusters. And once they are all added, that will be the layout, or the layouts, finished. I really hope you enjoyed joining me today, guys. Don't forget, if you want to see all the items listed out, check the blog post in the description box below. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.